they recorded this album called The Exotic Sound of the Altar Boys by, conveniently, the Altar Boys. This apparently featured Ryan Dunn before he died. It was like 2005. It's an interesting album. It's got a dog fashion disco jazzy element to it, but very, very different again. So, it's all over the show, but this is possibly my favorite music of all time. But once El Creeper and Knives Out released their full albums, El Creeper released a second album, but Knives Out released their first full album called Black Mass Hysteria. It's a very good album, but not the best in the world. What do you expect? It can't be perfect. But El Creepo's second album, called Aloha, I cannot find a lot of flaws with that. That displays a great range of vocal and composing skills. It's really nice. Like, there's this one song, it sounds literally like a Frank Sinatra song. It's a nice croony love ballad, and considering Todd Smith writes a lot of really messed up, darker meaning lyrics, like from the interviews I've heard of him, he seems like a really normal guy, but his writing is very dark and grim sometimes. But no, this album was this song, Under the Moonlight, was a particularly just normal love ballad, and it was, I will never get sick of that song. It's like, it could make me appreciate Frank Sinatra, and like, this is something I could not see myself ever doing, because he's a fine singer, but I couldn't stand his music, just like a lot of others, to be fair. So you get that. But no, Aloha was a really, really good album. Thoroughly enjoyed it, and I was highly anticipating the new Polka Dot Cadaver album, which is the third album. It's called Last Call in Jonestown. It released earlier this year, and honestly, I'm not as happy as I might have been with it, but it's a really good album. Again, it took a little bit of listening for some of the less accessible songs, for lack of a better word. The less accessible songs to really, really catch a hook on my ear. Like, there was about 4 songs I liked in the entire album at first, and those were ones they previewed early. Like, there was not Phantasmagoria. That's my favorite song now. They had Impure Thoughts, released early. What's that? Transistors of Mercy, which features Neil Fallon from a band called Clutch. It was a really good band, but really good song. Todd Smith is a backup singer in this, which was what surprised me, because I expected Neil Fallon to be a backup, but to, bust out his guitar really nicely. But then again, I know nothing about Neil Fallon, and I never really went into any extended research, so that's fine. But really good song. Last Call in Jonestown, the title track of the song, of the album, is very hard-edged. This was the first one released. It had a music video and everything, and it did set the standard and the tone for the album, but at the same token, Polka Dot Cadaver does not subscribe to each album as a particular theme. There's no running exact same song by song that you can just... It's not like Disturbed, where each song sounds pretty similar to the other. Like, this genre-hopping shit goes through all of his music. Even within one that does his particular style, there'll be very different elements within each song. And that's what I find amazing, to be honest. I mean, this guy, he's not an idol, but sure as hell he's a fucking good singer. And I gotta give him kudos, because he writes all of his music. Like, he works with other people, but he writes a lot of it, and it's really well written. So it's just, this new album was, with the initial pre-release of Last Call in Jonestown, the song, it wasn't that good. I thought, well, this is going further away from the first album's particular style, and that was the one I liked most at the time. Excuse me. But it grew on me as soon as I got the pre-release for the album, which was quite a good pre-order package actually, and it was very reasonably priced. So, sorry, I've been drinking some uncarbonated drinks. Yeah, no, it was a very good album. Like the first two songs, Last Call in Jonestown and Phantasmagoria, just gave you a completely opposite-ended style, and I didn't take the album for face value after that. So I gave everything an honest listen. I found the ones that I really liked. Like, a lot of them weren't that great, but they were just personal preference to them. They were really good. All of it was really good, but I liked particular songs best, and that's how the whole thing goes. So, yeah, it was All the King's Men, which is a really hard-edged song, really, really pounding drums, quick, and a bit angry sounding for Polka Dot Cadaver's style, but has a fucking golden chorus line for it that I really enjoyed. And it's the same with Phantasmagoria. Actually, that entire song is really enjoyable for me. There was another one, Lunatic. It's just got a really... I don't know what it is. It's the same deal as All the King's Men. A very hard-edged verse, very offbeat, atonal sounds. But on the chorus line, it's got, a basic chord progression. But the chord progression, of course, is different to most. It's their own one. But it works. And this melodic singing, and a really, really cool set of lyrics. Like, that's all I can say it is. It's really nice sounding lyrics. Well, nice sound. Really cool lyrics. I just like the way they were written. They really flowed off the tongue nicely. Oh yes, I sing as well, so I kind of sing to a lot of my music because a lot of it goes to different pitches, ranges, and styles, so I like to be able to mix it up a little bit. I haven't practiced in a while, but I'm trying to get back into it. So I reckon with this podcasting, I might be able to extend my breath. Well, aside from exercising, it might be able to extend the amount of words I can get out in a single breath without winding myself, which is good. So far, I'm not succeeding, but no, that I really like. If there's anyone listening out there, you should try and give this Polka Dot Cadaver go. It's some good stuff. I really enjoyed it, and I know this is a long podcast meandering about how much I like Polka Dot Cadaver, but if you want to know me and listen to me, I do want to. The first couple of podcasts are going to be introductory ones. I'm not going to be having a set theme ever because fuck that, man. There's only so much you can talk about things. There's only so much you can talk about particular things. So I'd like to mix it up and just do a little something different each time I do this from now on. So there's next, I don't know, maybe 1 or 2 podcasts, even 3, how if I can go over a little bit more about myself each time that I haven't gone over before, maybe you'll get a good idea of who I am, whether you can get along with me, and hey, maybe you can always, pardon me, you can always get in contact with me. I'll set up a forwarding address for anyone who wants to talk to me. I don't know, maybe I'll get along with you. If I don't, I won't be too cunty towards you, but I probably won't talk to you that much. I'm sorry in advance. But I hope to hear from someone, or at least see that people are listening to what I have to say. I do think I am reasonably intelligent, and I am not just babbling bullshit that is meaningless in every way. So, and even if it is, at least I can just get it out. I don't have much outlets, considering I don't play guitar much. I don't really sing in front of people or anything anymore. So this is just helping me improve my ability to speak in front of people, adapt to new things. So it's good with me. What else to say? I got 5 minutes left, so oh. I think I've covered most of what I wanted to cover this podcast. Oh yes, I'm not too bad at actually wiring and electronics of any kind, and I have no training with it. I just know some basic knowledge of high school electronics, and as long as it's not too difficult, I can wire up I can build and wire a computer, sound system, TV, all that shit. I can work with it pretty well. It's not difficult or anything, but it does require a little bit of finesse to get the wires going the way you want, and to improvise and adapt things to your needs. Like, I have a Xbox, and this older shitty TV I'm using because I don't know fucking why. It's a piece of crap, but I don't have money for a better TV at the moment. So eventually I'm going to buy a nice monitor that'll be about $400-500 fucking dollars. But either way, yeah. At the moment, so what I wanted to do was run the video, of course, through the TV, and the audio, the RCA, because it's an RCA cable I'm using. It's not got any HD bullshit for it yet, so that's why I can't do anything awesome yet. I'm running the left and right audio plugs into the back of the stereos and an auxiliary, so I can switch between them. An auxiliary cable for the iPad, which is what I'm recording on. So I can listen to music and then switch it between if I want to watch movies or play Xbox, and it works well. But I really, really just want something better. But then again, I want a new Xbox as well, because this one has chewed up 2 of my discs. And one of them is Mass Effect 3. I know how I would get hate for this, but I enjoyed Mass Effect 3. It's not as good as the other Mass Effect games. That's not hard to see, but it is a good ending to the story. I found it okay. I got the extended edition, which gives you a little bit extra. Shows what your consequences actually did instead of a different coloured explosion each time. That's all you get in the vanilla, so that's fine. And that's why people hated it so much in the beginning. But then again, it did turn it from an RPG with, some combat elements to a full-on just third-person cover-based shooter, which that did let me down a little. But it did introduce some elements that I was okay with, but you couldn't be a fucking tech and bloody biotics master. You couldn't be both. I can't remember what the fucking class is called because I've clocked Mass Effect 2 that many times, I just don't play it anymore. But you can't. That class is taken out, and it's taken out one of the most ridiculously broken systems I figured out that just makes it so you never need cover, and it's just silly. Like, you just use tech armor, the Carnifex hand cannon upgraded to its full level, and bloody slam and incinerate and overload. That's all you need, and no cover. You don't need it. And that guarantees you can kill almost any enemy, except for the Zions. I think they're called the bigger fucking husks. In Mass Effect 2, they took them out in number 3 and replaced them with like harvesters and all the Batarian Reaper soldiers. So yeah, but with that you could destroy the game, because all you need to do is overload, send their shields down, and slam them, and then shoot them a couple of times, and then incinerate, and they'd die. And if they got a couple of shots at you, you had tech armor, as well as cover was always around you, so that was awesome. It made it so easy. Even on the hardest difficulty, I didn't really die often. I died once or twice, but that was to be expected when facing heavies. And I'm babbling again about something that really is not important. I'll go into it another time. I've got about 50 seconds left, and then, well, fuck, I will have to go afterwards. Because I don't want to extend this into a 2-part podcast. I'll just do a second podcast. It's easier. Thank you for listening. Well, if anyone listens, thank you. If you listen to the first 30 seconds and think I'm a prat, fair enough, but give it a go. The next podcast will be, I don't know, on this weekend, if I can be bothered or get inspiration or overcome the slight fear of recording myself and submitting it to the internet world. Who knows? Maybe I will. If not, look again. It'll be up within the next week or two. I guarantee that. That much I can do for you. Okay, thanks for listening. Bye.